I don't say that in a mocking way at all. I have agents who join me that instead of selling real estate at Remax and instead of selling real estate at Keller Williams, sold, now they were selling, 60, 70 homes a year, but they have over $1 million worth of our NASDAQ stock, which we're a multi-billion-dollar national company. They have over $1 million. They didn't do network marketing. They didn't recruit anybody. They simply sold here instead of at their old brokerage, which happened to be Remax and Keller Williams. If they'd stayed the last 2 years and 10 months, now they came with me immediately because it was me, just like you guys have fans who love and respect you. They go, you know what? I'm going to listen because it's you. And I remember resisting Keller Williams for a long time. I was at 12 years at Remax, all the hype about Keller Williams. And I would hear fellow Remax agents who were kind of, maybe not the most wonderful people go, those mother effing Keller Williams. If I get one more call from a Keller Williams agent, I'm going to choke somebody. I hate those pyramid scheme Keller Williams. I was there. I've been doing this 24 years. I watched Keller go from nobody in 1999 to just rocking it in 2005, which is what EXP has done the last 3.5 years. They've gone from nobody to somebody. Everyone's like, it went, it's a penny stock. They'll never make it. Dick Dillingham said, 2 years and it's gone. Don't even go, Brent. Don't. And had I listened to Dick, I love Dick Dillingham. He was sincere. He was honest. He had my best wishes, but he was sincerely wrong. That's the bottom line. I mean, I wouldn't be paying $2.5 million in income tax after all my write-offs had I listened to Dick. And so I am so glad I just gave it a shot. What I finally told Dick and Mike and Tony Brody and the regional management team and the regional owners, I go, I'm going to give it a shot. If it's so bad, I'll be back in 6 months. Wish me well. I want to kind of build an empire like you. And so I went. Obviously, it was amazing. I never made a social media splash. Hey, babe, can you reheat that in the microwave? Thank you. My wife just bought me a green tea and I let it sit too long. Thanks, babe. Come say hi. Stick your face in here and say hi. This is my wife, Kathy. These are some, oh, there you go. She's really.
Hi. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you guys.
All right. These people are big deals. Anyways, I can't say the word. Anyways, so I didn't make a social media splash. I wanted to call people on my terms and say, and talk to people. And say, hey, Jay, I got something I want to run by you. Hey, Jeff Willems, I got something I want to run by you. And I remember there were people at Keller Williams that were just horrible people when I started. And finally, Maureen Barker, the regional person, she was, look, you're not joining so-and-so. I won't even say their name because that wasn't nice what I just said. You're joining Keller Williams. And anytime you get 50, 100,000, you have the good, you have the bad and the ugly. You get people that are amazing, then you get some whack balls. And I ran a Keller Williams agent with 500 people office. And there were people I just constantly like, I should fire them. I should fire them. And then there's this tug, So just realize, yes, we have 33,000. We will be at 100,000 in the next 18 months. You guys will be a part of that. And so basically, sorry. Hey guys, if you keep down a little bit, this is super important. I know this is more, whatever. All right, so here's the deal. Basically, we are fired up. I got Gene Frederick over there on another Zoom. He doesn't know what this is. Don't worry. But so it's going to be amazing. So I called people personally and just talked to them and say, look, I was wrong. I thought I understood EXP, and let me tell you what I learned. And I did a beta test with 8 people. And so basically I said, right now is a great time, Lars, for you to do a beta test. So I'm seriously, now you're looking at coming tomorrow, but you can call 8 people today and go, I'm doing a beta test. I want to know what you think. This is an emergency. I want to know what you think tonight. I don't want to, have you seen the modelexplain.com? And so they're going to go, don't turn it on until, they're going to go, no, I haven't, but I know all about it. And Rick Jiha, who's a famous trainer. Do you know Rick Jiha? He owns 7 Keller Williams franchises. He was a master faculty trainer. Of all the different people I've had roll through Keller Williams, Roseville, Sean Kokoska, the guy from Washington State, some of the best trainers at EXP, because we had a 500-person office. Rick Chihal was my favorite. So he's the first person I called when I saw this. And he goes, oh, I know all about EXP, stock, rev share, blah, blah, blah. He goes, honestly, it looks cool, but my passion is training, and Century 21 and Remax, and Keller won't let me go to their offices if I'm an EXP agent. And I said, okay. And I said, but you actually saw the 5-year plan on how to make $2.1 million a year in addition to what you make now. And he goes, well, no, I've never seen that. I said, okay, that explains everything. And he goes, well, what do you mean? I said, basically, I go, you don't even know what you're saying no to. So, Lars, I'm going to ask you a question. Have you and Stacy seen the 5-year plan that cranks out exactly how you make 2.1 million through? Okay, good. He'd never seen it. He goes, well, I've never seen that. I go, okay, well, once you've seen that, then we can talk. So I had him watch what is now very similar to the modelexplain.com. And then from there, I had him watch the little 6-minute illustration of our 5-year plan, which I did in 3 years. I think my 3rd year, which was last year, I made $3.6 million outside of my team. And this year it's going to be about $6 million, my 4th year. And it just keeps escalating. It'll be probably 10 million the year after that. And it just keeps growing. Here is the vision. We are opening 6 countries between now and December. We don't need to go get offices. We find people who have offices. And then it just grows organically from there. Next year, we'll open 5 more. And the next 5 years, we'll do another 25 countries. Add that to the 10 we're in. We'll be in 35 countries in the next 5 years. The United States is a cultural melting pot of people over the world. I cannot tell you the amount of people who go, oh, I'm a broker in Manila, in the Philippines. My uncle runs a real estate company in Mexico City. My best friend is in Thailand and has a 200-person. One of our people in South Africa has 160 agents, independent operation. And we opened in South Africa, like in 2 weeks, he's switching all 160. Now I have 160 agents in South Africa. We had 1 agent up in Anchorage, Great Alaskan Real Estate. The broker was 85. She said, I'm done. She told all of her agents, she only had like 7, one of which had like 80 listings, Katie. And they go, you need to find a new brokerage. I'm retiring. I love you all, but I'm shutting it down in 2 weeks. So Katie's like, and her good friend, her pastor, had joined EXP. He goes, take a look at EXP. She's okay. She goes, wow, it looks great. We picked up 80 listings overnight. How long would it take me to do an expansion model to go get 80 listings up in Alaska? This stuff happens all the time. So what I'm telling you is we're really going to grow to 100,000 agents in the next 18 months. And those 67,000, a big part of that, Lars, is going to come to you and Stacy. I truly believe it. Who am I? I'm nobody. I was just a guy running an 18-agent boutique team who kind of claim to fame was open houses. And then I taught my team how to do it. I'd share that at Kinder Reese and at Craig Proctor. And I shared it when Gary Keller had me on stage at Mega Camp. And, I did all those things. But that was kind of my big thing is that. Then I kind of figured out radio. I was Matt Wagner's first client outside of Oklahoma. I flew to Jay's office. And then I said, can you help me with this in California? He goes, yeah. And the first city, the first state Matt ever left was me in California. And I was on the radio for 15 years, weekend radio show. It was amazing. Know everybody in town. And so, but really, I didn't sponsor everybody in town. I sponsored agents. And I didn't have the platform that you and Stacy have. And I just didn't go that route. I had my little 18 agent team doing 118 million a year in sales. And I was, 51 years old going, what do I really want to do with my life? And I spent a lot of time with my family, still do. But I pivoted and I go, you know what? I don't have to spend 100 grand, 200 grand and buy a franchise. I'm not locked into this for 10 years, like a franchise agreement or 7 or 5. If it doesn't work, I'll know in 6 months. Like I am gone in 6 months. I know I'm a worker. I know me. I don't know EXP. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to give it a shot. It's the exact model Keller Williams has. And Keller Williams had the same rep. Stupid pyramid scheme. Keller Williams agents are crazy. The Keller Cool. People were just pissed. And so I remember that. And it's the same thing here. And I just tell people, well, are they like that at your company? Not at all. I go, because they don't care whether the company grows. Because if Century 21 grows by 10,000 agents, doesn't mean anything to them. It doesn't mean boo. And if Gary Keller opens in China and Gary Keller opens in South America, it doesn't mean boo to a single Keller Williams agent in the U.S. Just, hey, we're in South America now. Keller Williams, we're in Colombia. We're in Argentina and Chile and Brazil. But at EXP, oh my gosh, it means a lot to you. And so just super excited to have you guys on board. So my recommendation is no big social media splash. Quietly call people. And I would spend the rest of the day hand select 8. I did 8, copy me. I hand selected 8 people. 2 of them own franchises. They watched it because it was me. And they go, okay. Jeff Williams like, dude, we've owned RE/MAX for 8 years. We're going nowhere. We couldn't be happier. You're wasting your time. I go, no, I'm thinking of leaving Keller. I need you to save me. Write this down. I call it the save me beta test. I need you to save me from doing something stupid. He goes, oh, you want me to blow holes in it and tell you why you shouldn't do it? I go, yes, please. Because I finally took a deeper dive and I was shocked at what I learned. And I'll be honest with you, I'm stoked. I'm fired up. And if you don't stop me, I'm jumping. Be totally honest. I'm going to jump tomorrow. I need you to watch this tonight or tomorrow morning. As my friend, I'm asking you to get up early, get a cup of coffee and rock and roll. And so, by the way, 2 of them sold their franchises to get out. 2 of them quit their jobs as regional managers for Berkshire Hathaway. And one was a general manager for Berkshire Hathaway. One was a regional manager for RE/MAX. And then 4 big time players, they went ahead and they left their company. So I was 8 for 8. Now 6 of them came immediately. 1 came the next year and 1 came a year after that. I didn't get them all immediately. I got 6 immediately. But that little beta test you can do today, I want you to watch. And you've probably seen it, Lars and Stacy. Hopefully you've seen it. TheModelExplained.com. Have you seen that particular one? I'm me with the brick wall behind me. I got a little blue vest on, and people seem to like that one. And go, or if you got one you like that Gene Frederick did or something else, use that one, whatever you want, but go here. And if you can, Lars, watch it with them, share your screen and go, this is really important because tomorrow I'm going to do something that is going to have a big impact on my life. And go, there were people who, these are the special relationships in your life that will do it because it's you. The people you could call at 2 o'clock in the morning and said, I'm out of gas on a stranded road, buddy. I need you. Or I'm having a problem in my life. And these are people you're very close to. So I called 8. I wish I had done 18, by the way. I wish I had not done just 8, but I did the beta. So Lars, Stacy, do the save me beta test. Each do 8. Be honest. I'm really thinking about doing this. Total honesty, transparency. I'm super excited about it. I must be missing something. I need you to look at this and tell me it. Oh, I'll tell you. No. Have you seen the model? No, I haven't seen that. Then I don't know what you've seen. So until you've seen that, I don't want to have this discussion. As my friend, I'm asking you to watch it and tear it apart. See if it passed the mustard test, etc. And then after they've seen that, do the 6-minute illustration. Then you can have a discussion about it. But one of the reasons you want to watch it with them, Stacy and Lars, is because here's how they do it. Can someone throw me, my wife's here, throw me your phone for 1 second, baby. So here's how they watch it. When you're not with them, they'll watch it texting. They'll watch like this and their phone, and then they look down and they start emailing. And then they get a call from a client, call me now, I'm pissed. The sign guy put the sign in the neighbor's yard. And you're like, oh, crud. And you get up and you make a call. You come back 5 minutes later and they go, yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I wasn't interested. I always call them. I said, no, you didn't watch it. You're way too smart. What are you talking about? I guarantee you took a phone call or you got distracted or you were texting, because if you watched it, you'd be really interested. So I'm going to call, you're my friend, Lars. I would say, I'm going to call BS. You're my friend. There's no way you watch this and are nothing but excited about it, or at least have some sincere questions. And they literally go, oh my gosh, how'd you know? I go, because you're smart. You're smarter than this. And what I know is there's no way you watched it with your full attention. And they go, you're right. I watched 5 minutes and turned it off. I go, you got to watch it as my friend, please. So enough said. I don't recommend it big. Do it very quietly. I ask people for complete confidentiality and discretion. Eventually, it will get out. Eventually, there might be a wackadoodle say, oh my God, Lars is in EXP and Stacy's in EXP. There's nothing we can do about that. I don't care what company you went to. You know, it's going to happen. And at that point, then it's good. Then people who you just hadn't even got to or hadn't even thought of are going to call you and go, what? Are you serious? Okay, there's got to be something to this. If you're there and I thought you said it, go, yeah, until I took a deeper dive. A dear friend of mine got a hold of me and just really asked me to look. And as a friend, I looked. So what you're kind of telling them, as a friend, I want you to look. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And rock and roll. So that is my kind of 2 cents on how to get started quietly and to start working that. And this first week gets set in place the rest of your life. This week, I didn't feel that way at Remax or Keller Williams, but literally the next 7 days can impact the next 40 years of your life. I'm relocating to Puerto Rico, January 1, it looks like, because if I stay in my house, I live in a very nice home here in California. It's not a mansion. We go, wow, that's a nice house. I pay $2.4 million to stay in that house. If I go to Puerto Rico for 6 months in a day, live in the Ritz-Carlton 1,800-acre development, still do my Zooms like this, I could be in Dorado Beach, Puerto Rico, 1,800-acre. It's like being in the Ritz-Carlton in Kapalua, Maui. It's very nice, and I'm going to save millions of dollars in taxes next year, probably over $3 million. The year after that, over $4 million. So put it in the bank. So excited about that. The world, COVID's taught us Zoom's acceptable. And so I'll do 45 days in Puerto Rico, 45 here, but it's going to be pretty cool. I got about 3 or 4 more minutes for questions. At 10 o'clock, I'm interviewing Michael Valdez on International. If you guys want to watch, I can send you a Zoom link. You can watch. We're going to talk about what's happening in Mexico and Mexico. In fact, that's the countdown video just started. If you can hear that in the background.
The question
it's going to be what?
The question I have is like, so for the next level of rollout, we've got 110 people in B school right now. You know, all personal calls to every one of them, depending on who has a better relationship, me or Stacy, or do we put together an email and just one-on-one? Personal calls,
no emails, no nothing. Personal calls. It's not a marketing thing, especially the way you want to do it. People love a personal call. You call me, Lars is calling me. Man, when I called the people that love me and respect me, and that's who I called, right? They're like, Brent, what's up, man? And I'd be honest with them. How you been? I haven't talked to you in a year. I get caught up for like a minute. And then I pivot. Lars, Stacy, let me tell you why I'm calling. Do you have a quick second? I'm thinking about a major change in my life, or I just made a major change. And I want to get your opinion on what I'm doing. I'm very excited. I'm sure you've heard about EXP by now. Like, are you serious? You're doing that? I know, I'm shocked too. I thought I understood it. And when I finally, a good friend of mine got me to John, you know, because John's the one who got you to take a good look, right, Lars?
Yeah, I've put the stiff arm to a dozen people.
And tell that story. I put the stiff arm. I'm like, no, I'm KW. I bleed red and you know, red and white, whatever. But I go, a dear friend of mine finally said, that's great, but would you look? By the way, Tom Daves, who is the #1 Keller Williams agent 7 times in the past 17 years, he stiff-armed everybody till Don Yoakum got a hold of him. And Don said, that's great. You don't have to do EXP, but you're my best friend in the world. And you're going to sit down and understand the model. You need to know what you're saying no to. And today, Tom and Dave have hundreds of agents. They're on their way to making $1 million a year in EXP passive. Because then it grows. That organization grows. All of a sudden, it's 2 million and 3 million and 4 million. It's not that I'm that slick or good. Lars, you're smarter than I am, but I planted my orchard, my vineyard, and we're going to 1 million. We'll be the first company to hit 1 million agents worldwide because our agents actually care that the company grows. We actually have the relationships. And so Sheila Fairstrong called me up, and someone I respected. And so that's how it's going to go, because we give our agents ownership and we share the revenues. Nobody does that. Keller's the closest. They give no ownership. 1% of that company owns pieces of franchises. No ownership for 99% of the agents. Recognition and plaques, it's good. Love Keller, pro Keller. And then they give profit sharing, which is where they got kind of close. But right now, profits are slowing down, and ours is revenue sharing. We could do it because we don't have the overhead. We're cloud-based. Anyways, I'm on this Zoom in a minute and a half. Do you guys have a link to the Zoom if you wanted to watch it? It's going to be Gene Frederick and Michael Valdez and some superstars. It is going to go about an hour. I don't know if you guys want to see. Does anybody have the link in case you want it? Because I've got to go. Anybody have this link? Anybody?
I don't have it.
We don't have it.
No.
If you can.
Okay.
If it's on Facebook, I'll find it, Brent, and I'll share it.
It's not publicly. It's kind of a private webinar I did for about
Gotcha.
800 people. I'll send you a copy. You guys should watch this. So I'll get you a copy right now and send it to you on that group text. It's going to be awesome. And you should jump on and listen to the beginning. I have someone pretty worldwide famous introducing Gene, the voice. You'll all know the voice. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I got to go. Love you guys. We'll circle back. I'm sorry I ran on you.
Awesome.
I kind of
That's
fit
all right.
into my
Thanks,
schedule
Brent.
because you guys are a big deal. We're thrilled to have you.
Awesome. Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was. He said,
A lot of information.
A lot of information, right? That's Brent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's so go all day. So every time you chat with him, it's a lot at once.
There's something to take away from that, though, like that urgency that he has, that I'm always in a hurry. If we approach people like that too, I think it really will help us to get them to the presentation faster. But there's something to be left behind if I don't participate in this.
Say that last part, you broke up.
I'm going to be left behind if I'm not participating in this. Like I have to, like, what's he got going on? Like he sounds exciting. His life sounds exciting. Mine sucks. Like I need to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Well, I think, the communication Brent, here, I'll turn my camera so you guys can see me. The communication Brent uses, I mean, it's textbook, right? But that's just him. He's passionate about this, right? He speaks with emotion. You can tell everything in his body believes this, and he does give you that sense of urgency to get on the bandwagon, and that really activates his people, FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Yeah.
And it works. But I mean, can you imagine if Brent got on the call and he's like, "Hey guys,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, EXP's great.
Yeah.
I made $3 million last year." Like, even though the facts would be there, right? He could do the same thing, but everything would be different. I mean, you could tell he just, it just shines through him. I love, Lars, how you said about accepting Christ. That's the first time I've heard that
Great analogy.
I mean, part of me is like afraid to use that because it's not, I mean, obviously none of this shit matters, if we're being honest. We can't take it with us. It's a lot, unless there's a ministry component of this, it's not really,
But that might be for you, though. I'll tell you, we've got agents in our company that build orphanages overseas with all the revenue share.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's a lot, and there's a lot of Christian-based people here in this company. You're going to find that out, Lars.
Yeah.
So
what's,
there are those opportunities.
I don't think we need to spend this time getting on the call. If there's a recording, maybe, or let us know, Chris, what was announced if it's helpful.
Okay.
I don't know, John, while we have, I definitely want to take a little bit of time here if we need anything from Chris, but then also to take Brent's advice, like who are the 50 people we could call over the next 3 days? Like, let's just block out the whole weekend.
I'm 100% with you.
It is like, I'm a numbers guy, and there's no way these numbers don't work unless we somehow mess up the presentation. I'm going to be rusty at it at first. So
even if we mess it up, Lars, you can't say the right thing you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And even if we mess it up royally, which we're not going to do, it's still going to be probably as big as you're thinking, even if we mess it up. And it's going to be bigger if we do it right. So yeah, like I told Stacy, I've told you this yesterday, like we're here to support and help anyway. And we can talk about that on the call with the three of us once Chris leaves. But Chris, what advice do you have for us now hearing that from Brent? And then we got some questions for you.
Yeah, absolutely. John, you hit a good thing too, talking about getting people on board first. So a lot of times I have that discussion with brokers when they're moving over their company. If it's, right now I've got a 400 agent brokerage coming over. It's get the influencers on board first, right? Because we know the agents follow the influencers. So I love how you hit that on the head there. If you get your sphere of influence that's influencing the other agents on board with you, that's going to be so much more validated now when you call the other agents. And don't think they're probably not going to start calling too to see if these people are on board. Hey,
Right.
did you hear what's happening? They will. I mean, this is it's gonna go viral. It's what happens. And the last thing that you want is the people that those agents respect and trust. First of all, don't know anything about it, or second of all, have wrong information about EXP, because that's really what comes out. And you kind of said that there's been some people recruiting the wrong way. There's been a lot of wrong information put out there about EXP, and there's wrong beliefs, just like in the church, right? There's wrong beliefs about Christians. So it's really got to be now your testament to get in front of these agents that trust you and love you and respect you to give them the real information.
So, okay. So here's a couple questions that I have as I'm thinking through this. Lars has built a phenomenal community, and he's got a lot of lifers in there. And what happens is they develop relationships with other people within the group. So as Lars starts to share this with people, those people are going to want to share it with people.
Absolutely.
Yep. So with that reality in mind, is he best to start with people that he knows that will do it because he says to do it and they're just followers like that? Or is he best to start with strategically the biggest people within that group, so he frontlines the biggest ones and then they get the other ones later on?
So you want builders, right? For a front line to qualify for you to open up different tiers is an agent who sells 2 properties every 6 months or $5,000 of GCI. So really it's 1 home every 6 months. I just looked up the national average now has gone, the agents are selling now, they say 13 homes a year, the average agent. So for an agent just to sell 2 homes a year, you need kind of way down at the bottom, right? To be FLQAs, just to open levels. But what you want in your group is to get the builders. That's what changes everything. And a lot of these groups that have blown up, they don't have 30 builders or 20 builders. They have a few builders. I mean, a handful.
Huge. He says 100 and whatever people, but there are 100 and whatever people that have strong companies built on good principles, which makes it so strong. Whereas other influencers that are in this opportunity right now have a whole bunch of people that are I'll just say wannabes, and they're not rooted in business principles. So when I look at Lars's business, it's all about how do we scale, how do we create time freedom, and how do we create impact. And that's what he's taught people how to do within Real Estate B School. That's how it changed my life. And when you layer on the EXP component, it's more ability to scale, more time and freedom, and more impact, because now it's not impact just for us as the people that are his students, but it's impact for us and the people we serve.
Absolutely. And I think it's really important to the dialogue when you're talking to these influencers mostly, but any agent is, you're not asking them to be an agent at EXP with you. Yeah. You're asking them to partner with you in what you're doing. It's completely different. And with your influencers, when they come on, you're going to help them build. And John, you hit that on the head. They might know people out of those 200 agents in your group that are going to be the ones that are going to attract those people, right? Not you, Lars, but that's okay, because you're still going to benefit and you're going to still support it. And that's the big thing. If you look at the big picture here of really, I'm trying not to get biblical too much on this, but it's kind of weird, right? The selfless acts. And that's what my wife and I really did when we took this over. We helped our core agents just build out the group. That's all we did. And, our personal agents came as we were going. And like I said, again, I mean, I hope all of us on this call can attract agents that are selling 2 or 3 homes a year, right? Yeah. That really shouldn't be a problem to open up the levels. But to have the builders and you're going to have for them to have your support, Lars, I think that's going to be a good decision-making for them to go on partnering with him to do this.
So what I'm
not alone doing it.
What I'm hearing from you, Chris, is it'll go wide on its own. Don't focus on going wide. Focus on going deep with leaders who have leaders who have leaders.
That's it. It's like I said, I mean, we built 100, and really I stepped out of the game when I took corporate, and we're at 535 today now.
Yeah.
So, it will just happen. And I only have in my group, I'll tell you guys, I have 2 builders that I've personally sponsored. Those 2 are the ones doing all that. And they're going to blow it up.
For the average agent, and this is what AJ shared with me, you'll find a builder out at 1 out of every 25 people you recruit.
I think it sounds about right. Yeah.
So, but we're not, Lars's group is different because they're all.
I was going to say, you got a little different talent though, too, that you're associating with.
Yeah. And by the way, AJ doesn't know about any of this. So this is totally on the DL.
No, I don't have conversations, just so you guys know, with anybody unless they're on one of these calls. That's it. So nothing will be said to anyone. But yeah, and we got to be careful not comparing apples with oranges. And I'm trying to say this the best that I can on it. AJ's a great guy. Okay, Lars, you're a great guy, but you have two different circles, two different influencers. Yeah. It's different. We can't look at.
First one to tell you he did it wrong. He went after all the small fish instead of trying to go after big relationships. And he did it all wrong, and look how it worked out for him.
He still did amazing. I love AJ.
Yeah.
He still did amazing.
So John, Jamie too, do you guys know, I honestly don't know the whole, like, if we can go, well, in this case, 8 leaders deep. So John, Lars, Stacy, and
no, I wouldn't do it that deep, Lars. And Chris, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you're looking for like 3 leaders in a line, and that line will go to 1,000. So it doesn't have to be that deep, and you certainly don't want to stack. Yeah. And there's a great training video in Brent's webpage called The Vault. And it's like an hour and 20 minutes. And at 53 minutes into that video, it talks about the biggest mistake in this business, and that's stacking people. So Stacy isn't a stack because she's a builder. What a stack would be is you say, oh, Stacy, you're getting in. I'm going to put Seth between me and you, and then you, because you're a builder. And then we're going to go recruit a husband and wife team, and we're going to put the husband in who's not going to do anything. And then the what? If you do that, you'll only end up getting paid on 4 levels instead of 7 levels, and it'll cost you millions.
Yeah, so you explained that well. Yeah.
We want to spread out the builders so that it makes sense. So like an example would be, I'll just use names that I know that you know, right? So an example would be, if Thomas were to get in, Thomas and like a Dave Friedman kind of run together because they both lead Keller Williams. So if Thomas got in, you got a builder there. Maybe you give Dave Friedman to him because they're already like-minded and they're gonna work well together. But then like a Jason Daniels would be totally on the other spectrum of that, and you would frontline him and find other people that are going to resonate with him, because there's no point in having 2 people in a line if they're not going to feed off of each other.
Yeah, what you're going to find too is, as you're doing this, builders are going to attract builders, right? But then as your group builds, you're going to find out kind of some relationships that they've had with other agents. And I'll just tell you what I've always done, and I know what the influencers do, is always support that agent in your group with that relationship. I've had, agents call me and go, well, I know you're in his group, but I want to sign up directly under you. I was like, well, no, it doesn't work that way. Like, You get me. I come with the package, right? But you're signing up under Lars. Like, that's the relationship there. He's the one that showed you this. And that goes a long ways.
Yeah, so like I have a new person that I brought in, and he's a builder, and we have a mutual friend who I also feel like is a builder. In fact, he's coming tomorrow for a live presentation with AJ. And I put the person underneath him, and what that did for the belief of the first builder to get the second builder, I mean, this guy's on fire. He's scheduled 5 presentations today. He's sitting down with a 110-person brokerage right now as we speak. But he literally went from like, I'm going to do this, John, slow rolling approach, to, hey, well, I'm talking to Charles tomorrow. So if you want him to go underneath you and build with him, I need you to do it right now. And within an hour, he had it done.
And that stuff's going to happen. It's just going to happen.
It's just going to happen.
So I don't think Stacy, I don't know if you know any of that. Like, I just don't. So that's John, where I think you're going to be really helpful.
And Jamie.
Jamie's
got this thing down to a science. And I was telling Jamie about our conversation yesterday, Lars. And I was like, I don't know why I just know this stuff. And he's like, dude, you were in this business before. You've already got a foundation. So I'm confident with what Brent just told us that we can devise a plan of attack on who's calling who and in what order. And we'll be able to make sure that we do it the right way. Chris, my question for you is, okay, so Lars is in with his special little paper. the only part of this I don't understand that I need help with is like, let's say we get 10 people that want to go right now. None of those people are in the system. Like, how do you get the people under the right people?
Yeah, so that's great. It's conversation to make sure people know what's happening, because every agent has to write their sponsor on the paperwork, right? That's just how it works. When they sign up, it's going to say, who's your sponsor? They have to put that down.
Lars, your sponsor is Jennifer Mikish, not John Mikish.
Yeah, but the good thing
It's
is
good to have those conversations, right? Yeah.
the good thing is that most of the people are going to know Stacy. So if I initiate a conversation and it needs to go under Stacy, Stacy's been around for forever. So it's not like it's going to be confusing.
No,
Gotcha.
We're going to walk them through that. We're not going to leave it to chance. I think that's an important thing that I feel strongly about is when somebody's ready to go, we don't say, hey, go to the website and figure it out. We're literally going to say, hey, when do you have, 5 minutes? Let's schedule a Google Meet. Let's schedule a screen share, and I'm going to walk you through it. Because otherwise they go to join.exprealty.com and they're like, whoa, I didn't realize it was this involved. And,
So Tark from HGTV.
yeah, Tark.
Yeah, so I become pretty, communicative with him. I don't want to say good friends, but we talk a lot. So The guy did something brilliant, and I would definitely use this model, Lars. I think it's right up your alley here. Just make a quick video that you send out to people of walking through the process. Like Tark is so like everything is video driven. He doesn't send out an email with text in it at all. Yeah, it's all video. So, it's like, hey, it's Tark. I'm so glad you joined my team. Here's what's going to happen next. You're going to go here, fill this out, and it shows it. Here's a sponsor. This is what you put. I mean, it is, you can't mess it up. And that's so important.
Can you get us a little copy of that?
I can try. I can see what I can do. I'll just tell you, he keeps all his stuff very, very, very private.
Okay.
But it's great how he's put video into the process. And I can help you guys. Like we can get one of the onboarders on a call with you or Zoom and walk you through the process.
That'd be like
Yep, absolutely. That way, then if you make a video, you have a reference right there, and you can record it with the process, the onboarder, and then when you make the video, you can reference that to make sure you're hitting the right steps that you want to. All you really want to hit, to be honest with you guys, is the sponsorship part.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to go over how to put in your account number. They better know how to do that. The license number.
All right. So as far as getting people on the phone in the next, 24, 48 hours, you're just going to say, hey, when you go to the site to sign up at join.exp Realty, you're going to put my name, Lars Hedenborg, in. Hey, there's a chance because I'm still looking at this and it's so new for me that I won't even be in the system, but there'll be a blank box there and you just manually write my name in and you'll be good.
I was going to hit that. Yes. Make sure they manually, and if there's a problem, just let us know immediately. And, if it's just a clerical error, we can fix that. Okay. So don't, completely freak out if someone was like, oh, I couldn't find your name, so I put nobody.
So just logistically, and Chris, we may not need you for this, but logistically, like if we have a list of 150 to 200 people that we're going to call over the next 3, 4, 5 days, chances are we're not going to be able to let's watch this 44-minute video together.
Yeah.
Like have the initial conversation and get them to promise. There's a script around, getting them to promise they're going to watch this in the next 24 hours. Because we're not going to be able to sit down and spend 150 hours.
No, you can't. So it really comes down to that sense of urgency again, right? If you use the script like, I'm about to do this, I'm asking for your opinion. Can you watch it by 8 o'clock tonight?
Chris, I have an idea on that. Would it be better to do that and let them go on their own? Or would it be better to have a personal call with them and then push them to a group viewing of the...
I've got mixed feelings about the group viewing of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in private, my visceral reaction when you said that is I don't want people to even know I'm looking at this.
Okay, I got you.
Because I would not have gotten on a group. If you told me I've got 10 of my closest friends.
I was going to say that. Yeah,
I hate EXP even more.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so it's one-on-one. It's, hey, would you do this? And then re-emphasizing to them the confidentiality. And please, I know I said it before and I know you agreed to it, but please, please, please this is totally confidential between me and you. I respect you and I value your opinion. And I'm really looking forward to getting your feedback on this.
And I love what Brent does too. When someone says it like they watched it, but I'm not really into it, he'll ask them a bogus question. Like, did you hear, where it's something just Warren Buffett said that this stock is going to be this and that, and they go, oh yeah, I heard that. Then he's like, what do you mean you didn't even watch it? He'll call him out. Like, I asked you, I respect you, and you didn't even take the time to watch it. And I think that's great to question people's integrity too, though.
Yeah.
And then but then feed it back home where I'd be like, listen, I was the same way. Yeah. I get it. I did the same thing to tens or 20 of people that called me. I'm asking you for me. Just watch it once. Just really watch it. Can you do that? And they might tell you no, but most of the time, I think at that point, they're going to go, yes, I'll watch it.
Yeah. And if they're not interested, you can challenge that they didn't watch it, and they could be like, well, why do you say that? Because everybody that's watched it wants to do this. Like,
I mean, listen, and it might not be now too. I mean, a lot of my best people that I have in my group now, it wasn't watch a video and they were over at EXP like, oh, it was great. It was a lot of no's. It was like, nope, can't move. Nope, not into that. And then it was about a 4 to 6 month time frame where then they came over.
Yeah.
So don't.
Then they're coming over to you because you were the catalyst for them to make that decision.
Absolutely.
Like, I talked to Nathan, and Nathan's like, dude, I love it. I'm doing it. I've actually wanted to do this. I just wanted you to want to do it with me. And he said, but I'm not doing it until, January, February timeframe, because I want a full year under my belt because of whatever. It's his first $100 million year. I said, no problem, man. So now I got him going to the event in Cabo on February, and that's where he'll launch off of and sign up from.
Awesome. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep.
I'll say this, and then I think we can let you go, Chris, but I want you to talk about this as well. The more people that we get on board and the more people that go to Cabo in February, the more exponential your growth is going to be over the next 12 months.
I will tell you hands down, a big reason why we've been so successful with our group is my wife and I have been to every single leadership event or event that's happened, no matter what. And let me tell you, something will always happen before the event to keep you from going, right? Adversity will always come up, but we have fought through every time. And I can tell you, without a doubt, that's why we've been able to do what we've done. And get your people involved, 100%.
This guy right here is an absolute master at promoting events. He used to get me to go to events on like 4 hours notice on booking a flight to Utah.
I love it.
Yeah, seriously. All right.
And I'm excited about what you're about to build. Just this call of this collaboration here and what's happening, guys. This is going to be something huge, and you guys know it. This is like this is like Amazon selling books out of the garage again. I love it. I love this kind of call. That's a good thing, Lars.
Yeah, I'm still like, man, I hope Jesus is real.
My daughter asked me that in the car the other day. That was an awkward moment. Yeah.
All right. So, Chris, I think we need to strategize. I mean, you could be in on it, but I don't think it's going to be helpful for you.
No, just know, though, too, Lars, any big agents you're speaking to or brokerages, I'm here to help you close them. You don't need to know everything, okay? It's so powerful. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Show them the model, right? Get them to partner with you and say, hey, I don't know all the ins and outs, how that broker transition is going to work. But this guy, Chris Baer, he's brought over brokers with 900 agents. Yeah. Like, let me get you on the phone with the vice president of growth for the U.S. Let him tell you about that. And I'm here to support you. That's my job, is to support you guys.
It's actually
you go through the same.
It's a better way to do it, too, because not only is Chris going to be able to answer that question and keep them moving forward in the process, but he's also showing them that they don't have to know all the answers, and that will duplicate out faster when you build in your organization than you trying to answer it for them.
I put my calendar link in the chat here so you guys have it. Listen, if there's not a time that works or something, just shoot me a text, and I'll fit something in.
What were you going to say, Stacy?
So with a brokerage, though, you introduce it the same way, like, hey, I'm looking at this. I want you to take a look at this. Let me know what you think.
Absolutely. I do nothing different because the broker has to understand the model first, right? And then when we get on a call, we dive in more to the residual side with brokers, because that's why they're a broker, right? I mean, they got to think they're not a broker to sell real estate. They want to build something. They have agents. And then why I say that is if it doesn't happen and I get on a call with them, we spend 30, 45 minutes just talking about the basic model, and we don't have any, high level of conversation at all. And it's awful.
Okay.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah, Peterson looked, I don't know where you found the information, but in the 4 states that border South Dakota, there's like 9 EXP agents.
That might be right.
For the
Falls
50
is a
states.
fantastic market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm flying.
How many in Sioux Falls are there?
Oh, good. What? How many
there
agents?
No, EXP agents in Sioux
Oh,
Falls.
it said, I know of 2, but
So
there's
not
8
many
in
that I know
South
of.
Dakota. Yeah, there's 8 in South Dakota.
So that's what you want. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm serious.
That's
You want to be the influence in those areas that we're not strong right now.
That's what I told her. AJ was one of the first in the Lake Norman area, and that's the reason that he's where he's at, because everybody that's here now is underneath him.
So when I moved my company over, there was another influencer that moved the same time I did. We were like the top independents, right? And I was like, crap, oh my God, this is awful. I waited too long. But, we went from 0 to we have about 230 agents now in that county, in that MLS, which that's a small MLS, guys. That's a lot of agents. And he has like exactly 115 of them. And I have exactly 115 of them. But we're number 2 right now in that entire market for agent count and sales. And we did that in 3 years. Number 1's KW, only by a thread. And we might be passing them this year. But again, the reason I say that to you, it's just the example of an influencer moving over in an area that's not heavily populated, you become it. And it works.
Awesome.
Yeah, and my broker, we just had KW come to town like in 2013. And the biggest producer at my brokerage left and started that. And so it was this huge riff, and it still is. Like, they just can't stand it. Either one of them can't stand it. And the brokerage I work for is still the biggest. We sell the most. But I think he's going to be super excited about hearing this because
it's a KW killer.
Mm-hmm. And that would make him so happy. It just would.
He's happy.
So I will tell you one thing. I know there's Black KW here on the caller prior and all that. One thing that I really do focus on though, whenever I'm talking to any agent and KWs, is I never talk bad about any brokerage or company.
For sure.
Yeah.
I never say we're better.
No.
I use the term always, we're different in some ways. And this is why. And I always tell people too, wherever you're being fed, right? You're loved. It's getting you to where you're trying to go in 3 to 5 years. That's where you should be. There's hundreds of thousands of churches for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody has different needs and different things. Doesn't make us better. We're just different in ways.
Right.
And but I'll tell you, I've done pretty good up against KW. And this is just sharing here. Okay, no disrespect at all. Just sharing. They'll spend most of their time talking about why not to go.
I've never been sort of drinking KW. I only moved in there because my business partner was with KW. So I honestly don't like Gary Keller and his approach, just me personally.
Yeah.
So I have no ties emotionally to
Yeah.
it. All right. I think we got to get to work, Chris. We're going to reach out to you.
Absolutely, guys.
If we have any questions, we just got to
Thank
get
you, Chris.
a plan of attack here.
Okay. Absolutely. Anything at all, let me know. Take care, guys.
All right. See ya.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Well, I'll just throw out the presentation I worked on for the 2 hours before this.
All right. Let me, I've got to pee. Does anyone else need a pee break?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll tee this up while,
Right.
I got to get on my Zoom to do it, Jamie. Or I'll share it with you so you can pull it up.
Just email it to me. I'll pull it up.
I didn't know that about your broker, Stacy. That's awesome.
Yeah, you know what else is funny is when that KW came to town, he offered Tyler and I ownership right away
Wow.
to leave, and we didn't.
Wow. I wonder, is Tyler one of the biggest people over there?
Yeah.
The only reason I ask is
Well,
because
yeah.
I wonder if it would make, you would know better, I wonder if it would make sense to get Tyler on board before you call him and use that as a carrot.
Yeah, probably. I probably have more influence with the broker than Tyler does. But
Well, I just mean in the sense of like, hey, Tyler's going to leave anyway, so you're going to lose that if you don't jump on board on this.
yeah, he'll guess that right away. Like he knows that.
Oh, well, then don't go to Tyler first because you want him to be over Tyler because then he'll have a builder underneath him.
That's true.
I
I don't know. I feel like I'd have to go to Tyler first though, or same time, maybe.
Well, Tyler's going to get the majority of that brokerage anyway, right? Like he's going to get the people that he has the relationship with. I don't know. You think
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how these brokerages work. Like, because you want to make it work for the broker too. You know that just.
I think it'll work for him anyway because he'll be able to
Signed.
do all the Keller Williams people.
I don't know. They're still a little crazy about Keller Williams.
Jamie Forte.
So Lars, we're gonna have to decide who to call and what order and what that looks like.
And I think it's going to be like a beta 100.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lars, do you think it would is there anybody on that list that you want me to call kind of working from the bottom up to you? You want to call them all? I don't care. I mean, obviously, like I'm just offering support.
Can we just load them in a dialer? Be like, hey, oh hi.
Yeah, so we have to just logistically, like we're not going to be able to so we have a boardroom call tomorrow. So tomorrow afternoon, I've got a boardroom mastermind where everyone in boardroom is on my list, yet I need to go into that mastermind with, I don't know, I guess if we tee it up as confidential, you know, there's nobody in boardroom that I wouldn't present this to.
Yeah, the question is, like we talked about earlier, is it going to be more effective to share it collectively versus individually? And they kept saying individually is better.
Yeah, individually for sure. So I wouldn't plan on presenting it. I guess my point is like, do I kind of just keep boardroom out of it for now? I'd rather reach out to boardroom on Friday after that mastermind call.
Yeah. Because they'll be like, oh, Lars is calling me. We just had a good call yesterday. Like, what's he want?
Yeah. But there's going to be well over 100 people that would take a call from Stacy or I.
Yeah.
That will look at this. So what's the quickest way to get that list, like in a shareable Google document? Like, I think we just need to start a Google Sheets document, agree on the columns, start to populate it as quickly as we can, and just start to reach out. Agree on the bits that we're going to share. You know, for me, I wish there was that 44-minute, the model explained.
I totally agree, dude. I know.
Like,
so
it needs to be 20 minutes.
I cut it down to 25 minutes in my presentation. So if you look at my presentation that I sent you last night, I trimmed it down and I cut the back end off of it. So I think it's like 25 minutes and a half. And I just tell them, look, I'm going to need your undivided attention for 20 minutes because you're not going to understand the light bulb moment that I want to talk to you about unless you pay attention to this, to try to like really get them. I think that's exactly how I did it with Stacy. I took her through my presentation. I said, Stacy, this video that's going to play next is going to be, you know, about 30 minutes long. I really need you to pay attention to the whole thing. And then I want to share my light bulb moment with you. And she did.
I'm a star student.
She's great. Oh, Jamie.
I can start a Google sheet.
I don't have the team though. So mine is going to be a different.
So Jamie, open up the meeting I just sent you. I just created this for you, Lars, kind of like taking what I did, but like modeling it a little bit more after our conversation that we had last night. And you might not share it like this, but I just wanted to kind of put some thoughts together to give you a starting point. And I'll just present it and then I'll talk it through.
Cause like, I mean, really, I mean, the big takeaway, all the scripts that Brent had, but the big takeaway was that he wish he wishes he hit it harder
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
and deeper with people that knew him, liked him, and trusted him.
And you know that from launching your coaching company, like you went harder and you got better results because of it, but you always can go harder. So I kind of like, whatever you title this, it's got to be something that addresses like, hey, this is going to be shocking. And then it's like, hey, the biggest challenges that I see with teams is this. How are you helping those aspiring agents continue to grow so they don't leave you? And then how do you continue to train them without ultimately training your competition or giving away margin because they hold you hostage? A story about the last 4 years is a picture of me and my buddy John and my buddy AJ. Me and John are smiling.
That
Yeah,
picture's painful.
Me and John are smiling, but what you really don't understand is we're actually laughing at AJ right now because AJ's doing this thing called EXP, and he thinks he's like the cat's meow, and we're like, yeah, good luck with that, dude. And that went on for year after year after year. And so here's what I got to share with you, though. It's been said the most expensive thing we can own is a closed mind. And I'll be honest, I'm guilty of this. The truth is, I didn't see it because I never looked at it. And let me tell you why I looked at it. So John and I kind of shared this sentiment towards AJ and his whole little pet project EXP thing. And we always put it down, put it down, put it down. But, you know, one day recently, John calls me up and he goes, I got something to tell you. He goes, are you sitting down? I'm joining EXP. And I had a visceral emotion to hearing that from him because John was just like me, like, no way would we ever be interested in this. Would we ever do it? Like, it's just not for us. But just like John, I never looked at it. He never looked at it. And he had looked at it. And now he was coming to me and saying, dude, you have to look at this. So I looked at it and I want to share it with you because I have a couple ideas that I want to talk to you about specifically after we see this video. Now I'm warning you, it's going to be about 20 minutes long, but are you good now? I need you to pay attention to this. It's important. You take them through it. This is what I saw.
How long is that? Is the Brent video again?
25 minutes with a trimmed down version that I have.
Oh, you trimmed it because it was 44 or something.
I'm going to trim this one in your presentation, but I trimmed mine in mine, so I'll trim it for you too. What I saw. So I want to talk to you about what I saw. But before I do that, let me ask you, what did you like about what you just saw? Not what did you think, but what did you like about what you just saw? Get them to respond to that. And I'm going to tell you what I saw. So this is the real estate business school model. Scale your business, time, money, freedom, greater purpose and impact. What I saw with the EXP model was a complete alignment to what I've been coaching with the ability to add more scale across the nation and the world, more freedom through passive income, and more impact for the people that we lead, not just ourselves. And I'm going to break that down for you and show you why. So all I see is more opportunity and alignment, and it's really 4 easy steps to making your business permanently bulletproof. It's add the EXP platform to what you already have going on, whether that's a team or a company. Run the real estate business school model so that you have profit and productivity. Recruit and train using the rev share model and build passive income for you and your people. And hey, guess what? If somebody grows and goes beyond your team or starts a team of their own, you can help them do it now because there's a mutually beneficial rev share model in place. So let me ask you though, what's your exit strategy? When do you want to retire? I don't know, 5, 10 years. Okay, 5 to 10 years. Well, let's just go with 10 just to be conservative. If your monthly revenue share check is $10,000 a month, let me ask you, could you live off $10,000 a month? I don't know. My bills are kind of like, I probably need $20,000 a month. Okay, cool. So you're going to save up $4.8 million in the next 10 years. And I would probably break this out in 2 slides, Lars. I'm just going through this rough draft with you, but I would like really hammer that point. So when you want to retire, 5 to 10 years, cool. How much do you have saved right now? How much do you think you'll have saved in 10 years? And then how are you going to live off that? And then show them this. Well, what if I could show you an example where you could make in the next 3 years, if you build this with us, $30,000 in revenue share a month coming in. I think we could do that much easier and much quicker than you could save 7.2 million. But how long do you plan on working? Maybe you want to work for the rest of your life. I don't know. But how long will it take you to save enough money to hit your numbers? So these are just thoughts. We can categorize these better. And then what does this really mean? Hey, Real Estate B School is going to continue to help you scale your real estate business with our proven tools and systems. None of that is changing. Real Estate B Schools can continue to serve people and help them and build good businesses. The only thing we're talking about here is adding on the EXP model to help you scale your wealth through the agent attraction model. And the consolation prize of that is you're actually going to help impact the lives of those that work with you to help you hit your goals as well. So my goal is to help you scale your business and your wealth with our tools and systems. Build wealth by helping others. It's people helping people. It's a beautiful thing. So that was my rough draft. It just kind of like trying to get like what you were saying last night into some format. And I know it needs a lot of polishing, but I feel like it's a starting point. What do you think?
Yeah, it's awesome. The thing that got me is the thing that Brent said, like, have you actually seen the 5-year model?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, have you actually seen that? And that's 6 minutes.
So play that and just leave it alone. And then when you're interested, you could do the whole presentation and they could do that on their own.
I like both of them. Like, hey, this is going to take about, 35, 40 minutes for you I need you to carve that time aside.
Yeah.
In these next 4 or 5 days, we're not going to be able to babysit this.
Yeah.
Like we're going to have to figure out a way to get someone to promise they're going to carve out 45 minutes. They're going to watch the 2 videos plus the overarching explanation of it. And then I am going to text you before noon tomorrow.
Yes.
Because this is that important and it's super confidential.
Yes.
So I think there's our story, Stacy and I, through this presentation. And then there's just 2 pieces you need to watch: the trimmed down Brent Gove and the 6-minute 5-year plan. And if you watch those and you listen to this story, like you said to me, you literally said, I just need you to know what you're saying no to.
Yes.
And it's been a dozen people that I'm just like, I've never watched any of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so just to be open about that in the overriding explanation, and that's not easy to say. That's really hard to say.
But I think in saying that, you're being vulnerable and honest with them. And I think there's a lot of power in that.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be like, Stacy and I have to come up with this list of, it's going to be way longer than we thought.
So one thing about that list, Lars, is in the Kajabi product that I sent you, there's actually a list that I created. If you want to make your own, that's fine. Or you want to take that one and change some things around. But I created a list and then I duplicated the page at the bottom. So I have a list and Jamie has a list, all in the same document. And, it's basically like a version of your listing tracker. So it like has colors if dates go by for follow-up and things like that. And you can use that if that's helpful for you.
Yeah. Let me make sure I find that.
EXP Training Hub was the subject.
Yes. When I got that, I was like, oh my gosh, EXP already signed me up.
You had heart palpitations.
Yeah. I was like, man, that is not cool.
And I think that, you're going to go into this and you're going to put a lot of work and effort into a short period of time. The biggest thing to remember in doing that is duplication. Don't start doing stuff that's not going to duplicate. If you have 2 options or 2 ideas, go with the simpler one. It'll reverberate out in your whole organization and grow faster.
No, I totally get that. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be more than like a 4-part system. Like the initial contact, whether it's, telephone, voicemail, Voxer, text. I mean, we know people well enough to know how to motivate them to do something. Mm-hmm. So whatever that initial contact is, there's getting their commitment that they're going to carve out time in the next 12 hours, 45 minutes to, I'm going to send you an email. It's super confidential. It's going to have 3 links in it. I need you to watch them in that order. And then let's have a conversation after you've watched it.
That's perfect. And dude, they're going to do it because it's you. Like they're going to be excited to be on the inside of this confidential thing. You know, that's how Dwayne Legate built Sync to what it was and what he sold it for. It was all about like insider, confidential, like you're in this like no, and then everybody was like willing to do anything for him.
Which is it in Build Your List? Where's the thing?
Build Your List. Yeah, it's a download.
Prospecting spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Excel.
Yep. I think I put 2 versions in there, but yeah, I can share it to you from Google if you prefer.
I'll just bring it in.
Okay.
Stacy, I'll share it with you.
Okay.
And then
so, I mean,
I'm gonna take the people off my list that I had on there before I talked to you. That would be people that I know that you know that are in your group.
Okay. Yeah, because at this point, what are the different levels? Like, I know the reason why Stacy doesn't have to be worried about me building out her front line is that I'm literally paid more for that.
Yes.
Right. So that's why there's no like.
You're paid more on the next level down. The first level you get paid $2,800. The next level you get paid, $3,200. You only get paid on 7 levels.
Yeah. So, but it's me, Stacy, and then her next level. That level,
you get paid more on.
Yeah. So Stacy does not have to worry about where we put people, because I'm going to go wide enough to unlock all the levels, and then her level right under her gets me selfishly paid more.
Yeah, what's going to make sense is that the people that she has a stronger relationship with are under her, and the people that aren't, you can go wide with. Because those people that she has a relationship with, you're basically building a community below her, and that community is going to have harmony, and that harmony is going to make it grow faster and bigger.
Yeah.
If you put somebody that she's close to, like, as an example, if you put Tara under somebody, not her, and she's close with Tara, well, now she doesn't even want to help Tara, and Tara is not going to call her for a 3-way call with all her other girlfriends, which Stacy would be a good fit for, because they're not mutually aligned.
Yeah, 100%.
But for somebody like, who's some guy that you can't stand, Stacy, like that guy Dan from California, he doesn't need to go under her.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about? That C guy.
Dan Ellison.
Yes, Dan Ellison. Put him on the front line.
He's much
I like
better.
that. I thought of him last night. I'm like, he'll do this.
Yeah, but he's your guy. He's a C like you, so you put him over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can ask you all the questions.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Don't call him in the first week, please. You won't have time to call anybody else.
So in that tracking spreadsheet, does it kind of break down priority in terms of contact?
Yes. And
Yeah.
I did them alphabetically on purpose. So critical comes before high, comes before important. So when you hit alphabetize, it'll put all the criticals at top.
Yeah, it's like a sales tracker.
Realize too, don't be judging me over there. I threw this stuff together in like 20 hours.
John, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you.
Hey man, you changed my life. It's the least I could do.
Like literally, like I would have probably slogged through more months and maybe a year or more with Thomas. And
yeah, I know,
that was coming to a head. I wasn't going to have that conversation with him yesterday.
Right.
I've already called a valuation company. I mean,
we're literally hitting this thing on this ride, like right where they're going to have like just ridiculous growth too. So it's like, we didn't have to endure all the pain that AJ did over the last few years, and we're going to get all the benefit.
Yeah, it's, yeah. So, I mean, this is, and your leadership and mentorship in this world now, I don't know this stuff.
We're on it, man.
And I haven't been studying scripts or figuring out what to say to people or picking up the phone
So you're in Kajabi still, you have it open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go down to where it says 3-way call and just click on that. So the notes that are in the body of there, again, I want to hire a videographer and have all this on video, but for right now, I got to get the notes that are in there are so on point, and they all come straight out of that book, Building an Empire. But it's like there's 10 things that we got to hammer home with people that they need to master. And if they do that, we don't need to get into the weeds on anything else. Any additional training will come at an event.
Okay, so what, part of me is like, what the F should we do next? We got to get that list together and just
Prioritize it.
Just iron out, so is the approach, share that presentation.
Share the presentation, find out if they're ready to go. They're either going to be ready to go, they're going to be ready to go with questions, or they're going to be not right now. You want to continue to move them to the next step. So if they're ready to go, great. Schedule a time and get them onboarded. Walk them through the join.exprealty.me. Show them where to put your name in. Say, you got it from here? Okay, great. When you're done, give me a call, and I'll help you put together your list to start building. And that can be me. Like, I can do all that second level stuff. Or if they say, hey, I'm interested, but I have questions. As soon as they start asking questions, you're going to be able to answer a lot of them, but you're going to have to try to pull back on that a little bit and say, you know what? That's a really good question. What I think we should do is I think we should get on the phone with, and then fill in the blank, whether that's me, if it's appropriate, Brent, Chris Bear, whoever you think, AJ, if it's somebody that's lower that you think is going to jive with him, whoever you think's appropriate, you have to edify that person, because this person is killing it right now, because this person is leading the nation in the expansion right now. And it's all in that 3-way call script I just did, because you want to get it off you and you want to get them moving to the next step. There's a really killer line in that script on that 3-way that says, so when I'm talking to somebody on a 3-way, I know they haven't signed up yet. That's why you're calling me on a 3-way. But I'll say something like this. Hey, so, what did you like about what you saw? We talk about that. I share my story real quick, my conversion from like atheism to believer. And we go through that, and it's real quick. It's like 3 to 5 minutes. And then I say this line, and this is a super powerful line. I say, so are you and Lars going through the application process right now? And I shut up, because now they're going to tell both of us what their objection is, or they're going to say, yeah, I guess that's what we're doing right now. Great. Well, Lars will walk you through how to get signed up the rest of the way, finish the application. And I just want you to know I'm here to support you. I can't wait to build this with you. But that line is super powerful, because that's me asking if there's a doubt that's keeping them from moving forward and finding out what that is. And it's also me setting it up for you to take it away and get them signed up. And if there is a doubt that we can't move them past, then we just move them to the next thing, which is like, hey, let's get you on this call with Brent, which he's doing a webinar later this week or next week. Or, hey, let's get you to this event that's happening in your area. So it's just always the next thing.
So it's like 3 circles, Lars. Peak, present, train. You pique their interest, prospect them, you move them to the presentation, which is going to be the overviews. And then the training is anything bigger or different than they've seen from the presentation. So, and that will, or they're going to sign up, so that you pique them, you present to them. If they're ready to go, you get them on join.exp Realty, get them, going in the process. If they need more information, you promote the next event, which is a 3-way call with, with John or Chris or Brent or whoever. Something different or bigger than what they've experienced on the presentation. And then it just loops around.
The biggest thing you're going to get is you're going to get people that have teams and companies, and they're going to be like, I see it. I want to do it. How do I get my people to want to do it? And that's a perfect pass to me, because I just took a whole company from being proud and independent to being totally jacked about doing this. And I can walk them through that, and I'll even offer to help them build out their presentation, because I can send them what I already have and they can make it their own.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
My problems are the same as their problems.
Does that
Yeah,
make
because
sense?
most, I mean, everyone we reach out to is going to either they were struggling to start a team, they have a small team or a medium team, or their boardroom, they have a, $1.5 million or more. And they're all different sort of types of issues. Like Business Foundations is the last group we go after, because they're just solo agents essentially. Right?
Yeah, solo agents.
Yeah. So, and we want to go after people that that have
Building.
small teams or more.
You want to go through everybody that you have a personal relationship with that would be a builder, that everybody that's a team owner, broker owner has influence. When you exhaust that list and there's nothing left to that list but future follow-up, then you go to the small fish and you just build wide with them so that you and Stacy are both qualified with 40 each.
40 unlocks all levels below us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And my recommendation would be to go beyond the 40. I mean, get to the 40 initially, but there's going to be some attrition.
Yep.
Drop out. Yep.
So you want to make sure that you go beyond the 40 so that you lock it in.
We're going to do what Brent's doing. Brent's going 100 wide personally. That's what we're
gonna
doing.
do. We're going to go 100 wide.
So the goal is for Stacy and I to go 100 wide, and then we probably won't have to worry for many, many years about it contracting to 40.
If ever.
And the width doesn't really have to be all these hitters, right? I mean, if we get 10 hitters out of our 40, then we're people that actually want to do this and build it, and you train them the right way. That's the goal with the 40, and then let 30 be like John Putz and
Correct.
Matt Greco's, and like they're running these small little independent, but nobody really.
They don't have influence, Their
So
center of influence is small.
is that the way to look at it? Like Peterson and I need to go 40 wide, but 10 need to be, people that are actually going to do this at a meaningful level, like you are.
Yeah. And the only caveat to that I would add is you're better off with a leg that has 3 leaders down than a leg that is 3 leaders wide with no leaders underneath them. Because what that's going to do is it's going to motivate them to stay in long-term and be a lifer as opposed to just fizzling out.
The thing too is that the funny part too is that you don't know who's going to be your builders or not.
True.
Yeah.
It's all going to sort itself out. Lars, it's a geometric progression. It's, 3 to the 7th, 4 to the 7th, 5 to the 7th. It's the wider you go, the wider it's going to go deep. And so don't
even judge necessarily.
Tell them the Josh Ordway story.
Just if there's an obvious 3 that we can put together, like Stacy, Tara,
the girls. You want the girls like together, like they're doing their thing. They're going to crush it because they're going to be able to relate to the people that they're passing back and forth to each other.
Yeah.
So you do your best, and obviously want to identify who your leaders are, who you believe will be builders, but those are who you think won't, those who you think will. And, so you do your best, but it's going to probably shake out differently than you're thinking it will. But yeah, you take your best crack at it. Like John said, I agree with that 100%. Go to the ones that you have the most influence with, that you think have the highest potential, and then go to the second tier or second category of people you have beyond that after you've exhausted those ones.
And don't stack.
Yeah, don't stack them either. That's a big mistake that people make because you don't know who your builders are, and just one level. Like if you just do a simple 3 by 3 by 3, you have 3, 9, 27, 81, so on and so forth. On your 7th level, you'd have 2,187 people. If you just shift that by one level, you've reduced from 2187 on your 7th level to like 700. So it's just, if it worked out perfectly, and it doesn't work out perfectly, it won't duplicate exactly, but that's why you always want to keep them tight up as high as you can, and then let the system duplicate out and have the widest 7th level you possibly can.
So don't even think about stacking for now. Like if we can each go 100 wide and we give them the right training and support and guidance and leadership, the 3 by 3 is going to figure itself out.
That's right. They're going to sort themselves. because we're plugging them into the system. And so what that system is, it's going to be a weekly training webinar that they can plug into and learn about how to build, how to talk to people, how to present, how to promote the next event.
Blocking and tackling.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again.
So that the system will sort them, and you'll see that if you go 100 wide, you're going to have a percentage of those that actually get those legs are going to actually build. Other ones won't, but it'll shake out.
And there's no way once you put it in place, you can't remove a person and collapse that level.
Yeah.
No.
And if you get a dud, you got to be careful about that. Or
Duds lead to studs, so don't prejudge them.
no, I mean, like if you know, like you said, don't. If Seth had a real estate license, but he's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Stacy would be stupid to knowingly put someone in a level that's going to cut her knees off at the 7th level.
Yeah. So when I say don't stack, what I'm saying is don't put somebody that you know is not going to build the business in your organization, because it's a waste of a level for you. I'm not saying don't strategically stack a person here or there. If by putting two together, the sum of the two is going to be a greater build than by having themselves. If you took two people that were really close, like think about your events. There's certain people.
Hey, John, just 1 second. Lars, you're going to have to log off, log back on, because they have to start that specialist training and you're on your Zoom.
Okay. I'll see you guys.
Do you want to just come back in a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, we've got client weekly specialist training, and it's hosted under his Zoom account. So he can't be on his Zoom, and they're trying to log in. So he's going to log in as like Julie or Anders or somebody in like 1 second.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh crap. Yeah. She just said they can't start it. Let me go in and start it. Actually, I'll be right back too. Sorry. I got to start this for them.
So,
You need your computer.
yeah. So let me share the record.
So I go in as the.
Yeah, let me just do this. Stop share. And actually, let me stop recording. Stop recording.